Hello and welcome to the Talking Shrimpers podcast with your host Charlie, and I'm joined this evening as well by Finn. Well, what a week it's been for Southend United. A huge win against league leaders Rochdale, followed by a frustrating slip against Altrincham. The highs, lows and plenty to talk about, so let's get into it. So as I said this evening, I am joined by Finn. A bit like Southend, we've got a few key players out of action this week, so we've got a very string bare team. But we will power on, needless to say, trying to give you all the content that you want and all the reaction from Southend's win against Rochdale, loss against Altrincham, and looking ahead to Woking and Southport. So Finn, how have you been? How's the week been for you?
Yeah, not bad at all, really. As you said, it's just us two tonight, but no offence, Phil. I'm sure it'll still be we'll still have a good laugh, and if you can't have Phil, the next best host is Charlie. So there you go. It'll still be,
I didn't pay him to say that.
Yeah, I'll just pretend you didn't pay me for that. It's been a good week. I mean, except from obviously, we'll talk about the weekend. I always like to say I always feel better after a win, but I mean, I do and don't. This week it's kind of a bit of a mixed week, really.
Yeah, no, likewise. It was. It's gone from like a really high to quite a disappointing low. So yeah, like you say, it's been a real mixed bag this week. Following Southend, I've hit that time of the year where the dreaded hay fever is in full effect.
Oh god, yeah.
And it is absolutely crippled me this week. So if I sound a little bit bunged up, then that's the reason for it.
That's it. Yeah, it could be worse though. I mean, for anybody who kind of knows the Kent area and stuff, we've got a bit of a meningitis outbreak at the moment. So
yes, I've seen that. Yeah, Canterbury.
I'm in Essex now. So but it's not ideal.
You're keeping safe.
Yeah,
won't be rushing back across the river anytime soon.
No.
But good luck to anyone that's over there, and stay safe, guys. But yeah, should we crack straight into it? I mean, it's almost a week ago now, so it's we're talking about Southend 3, Rochdale 2. Another win against another top 6 side. So that was 2 wins on the bounce after going all season without getting any wins, to getting 2 on a bounce against, at the time, league leaders Rochdale. So I want to touch on the first goal from Dallas. Is that possibly goal of the season? I mean, where I was sitting, you could see the one-touch play between the players down that left-hand side, carving open Rochdale. And I think half the stadium was actually cheering before Dallas even touched the ball. I think it's just one of those one of those movements that played out where you could just sense there's a goal at the end of it before the strike was even taken. What was your take on it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a brilliant goal, and to be honest, Dallas has kind of scored 2 goal of the season contenders in a row in 2 different games. Yeah. I mean, obviously the chip goal against Forest Green, I think. Was it Forest Green or was it the game before?
It was Forest Green. Yeah, it was the lob, wasn't it?
Yeah,
no.
I think it might have been the game before.
I think it was the game before. Tell a lie, it was. Yeah, it was the 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes, that's right. They all merged together, didn't they?
Still kind of 2 goal of season contenders in 3 games now. So
3 games. Yeah.
He's a fantastic forward, and the whole build up. I mean, also like credit to Hopper as well. I think it was him who put the pass in. It feels like ages ago now, which is really weird, but credit to him and the whole build up, the whole team. There. Such a good play down that side, and to be honest, that's the frustrating thing, is that's how we know we can play at that standard. So later, but obviously games like Altrincham, it's just disappointing when we don't, because we know as an 11 we probably have one of the best 11s in this league, I'd say, when everyone's fit. It was fantastic, and the whole game, I always like to get my match reports up on Pluto. Whenever I do this podcast, just know what I thought at the time. It tends to refresh my mind. So I'm just looking here, and it says there is another 2 goal involvements to Dallas. Hopper again, great, solid defensively. Boys, fantastic. Golding, honestly, it's just so many players that you could pick out. Golding again, another goal. Obviously, that's what he was doing towards the end of last season. I think in his first few games back from loan, he didn't look bad by any stretch, but I think he probably looked less match fit than he does now. But yeah, he seems to have just completely warmed up. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, Gus as well with the armband. I think some people were maybe a little bit surprised, obviously with Cav now out, about him getting the armband, maybe over your Taylors and players like that. But I mean, he seems like he's done a great job. I mean, in the Forest Green and the Rochdale games, he looked like the whole team kind of looked very together and very composed. So it looked like the leadership was there. But yeah, a fantastic result.
Yeah. And as you say, that first goal for me, I think I've said it before. I think that's where Southend play their best. When the ball's on the floor and we're moving it with pace, one-touch passing, the triangles, we completely carved them open. It's exactly what we did leading up to that first goal. And there's something else I just wanted to sort of take your opinion on is, obviously the last few games we've seen us attacking the south stand to start with, where notoriously we kick against the south stand in the second half, but obviously having the north bank there now, I feel like it gives us the edge in both halves because we're sort of attacking against the fans on both halves now. But also where we're attacking early, the amount of early goals we're scoring as well. Again, it was another goal within the opening 2-3 minutes, I think it was. Do you think having that goal early gives us something to build momentum on?
Absolutely, and it's funny you say about the switch in ends, because I think I pointed this out on my account the other day. I made kind of a post because I'm a little bit of a stat nerd when it comes to this sort of stuff. So I went back and looked because I was just thinking I think it was after the Rochdale. No, it was actually after the Forest Green game. And I made this post, and obviously it happened again with the Rochdale game, just furthering it. But I basically pointed out, does swapping ends before the game basically guarantee an early goal? Because I was looking through it and I did some research. So I mean, we didn't plan this, but I'll just quickly read out something. Henry Sandats, this was in 2024, I believe. I think it's 23-24 season. January, he scored in the 3rd minute. Obviously, we swapped ends in that game. These are all games where we swapped ends. Gus Scott Morris, 7th minute. Harry Cardwell, 2nd minute. There's an own goal against Hartlepool in the 2nd minute. Golden in the 3rd minute, obviously against Forest Green. And then the other day as well. So, yeah, I do think... And to be honest, it kind of sounds like maybe it's just kind of a coincidence, but I do actually think there's probably some logic behind it. And I think I've always said this, that I think it's good to attack towards it used to be about attacking towards the west stand, but attacking towards kind of the north bank. I know that's where the away fans are as well, but I feel like attacking that in the second half just gives us a bit of an edge. And I also think for teams coming to Roots Hall, I think it's a lot more intimidating for them to attack straight into the North Bank rather than growing into the game, having a half to experience the atmosphere and stuff, and attacking, no offence to anybody in the South, but a bit of a quieter kind of stand. So, I do think that it's important to get the early goal, and I'd keep swapping ends, 100%.
Yeah, and obviously that way around, it prevents the away team attacking towards their fans in the second half, giving them that bit of an edge.
I do think
as they go into the game. Very much so. I'll have to agree, I must admit.
Because I mean,
we're big.
Even if you look at like when the opposition take a corner, for example, they're taking a corner right in front of the North Bank. It's a very it's a very intimidating experience, and I just think whilst I know you have to attack it at some point anyway, but attacking it straight away, not getting any chance to go into the game, you immediately, from the first whistle, think, oh my God, this is going to be a long game. It's like playing into that, towards that crowd, is quite intimidating. And I know they're playing towards the away fans, but without disrespecting any clubs in this league, I don't think any of them bring kind of an
big enough crowd. I
don't think any of them really make much of a difference, because at the end of the day, it's very rare. I can't really remember the last time a team bought more than 300.
Well, I think it would have been Charlton, wouldn't it, in the FA Cup? I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that,
don't kill me, Charlton fans, but I remember them being a little bit quiet.
Yeah,
they were a bit nervous.
I think they probably didn't expect the result to go the way it did. To be fair, so probably in a bit of an element of shock, I'd imagine. It really was. It's right up there for one of the great games I've seen in recent years. To be fair. We just want to go back then onto the Rochdale. You mentioned earlier about James Golding taking his second goal in as many games to take us 2-0 up. What do you make of his goal? From another corner, wasn't it? Deep corner into the far post that he managed to get his head onto.
Yeah, and I think there's been a kind of shift recently in our crossing ability. I mean, I think for a lot of the season, it's been. I know that Boys has a great crossing him, but for a lot of the season, it's been. I'd say pretty inconsistent is the word. I mean, sometimes it's been good, but sometimes it's not. But in recent weeks, it's been superb, and the cross from the corner is fantastic, and I just think that's why having James Golden in that box is so good, because it was like a kind of signature goal for him to just jump in right at the back post, stick it in. And that's exactly what you want from a forward. And it's weird. I was talking to my dad the other day about this. It's just strange that we have so many tall players in there, but it just seems that we don't necessarily do that well from set pieces.
Yeah, just don't capitalise, do we? As much as maybe we should do.
Yeah, and I think I've noticed a bit of a difference in him from how he played last season. Really, not in a bad way, but he seems a lot stronger and a lot. I think he's definitely filled out his frame quite a bit, and he seems. It seems like we can kind of utilise him in a bit of a different way. I know he used to drive forward, but now he kind of drives forward, can kind of barge players off the ball. He's I've been very impressed with him, because I mean, last season I do really think, obviously you never know in hindsight, but I really do think that if we'd had him for the playoff final, I reckon we might have won that game, because we're so close, and he's a superb player, great leader.
Yeah. Well, that actually leads me on to another question I've got, because, like you, I'm really impressed with him, and I think we are much stronger with him in our team. I think he just gives us that bit more of an edge, both defensively and attacking. And I just like, how important do you think he has become lately to the team? Obviously, he's now had a run of games within the team. Yeah, how important do you think he has become for us? As you say, by the back end of last year, had we kept hold of him and he didn't have his injury, could he have been the difference to have seen us get promoted? Who knows? Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? But I certainly think that he would have given us a bit more of an edge. As you say, his physical presence, his height, gives us something else.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think he is a different centre back, because he allows us to do something that when we signed him, I actually said that I hoped we would do, and I feel like we've seen it, where he plays as a centre back, like on paper, and on paper we're playing kind of a 3-back with wing backs, but he drives forward, so it kind of feels like on the attack we've only got 2 at the back, but on the defence we've maybe got 3 to 5, depending on if the wing backs come back. So he allows us to play in quite a different way, whereas I see that Gubbins gets up a bit, but not kind of driving forward in that kind of sense.
No.
So, I think he definitely offers us something going forward as well, and he almost plays as somewhere between a centre back to defensive midfielder. He's kind of like you can see when we attack, he's getting right up there, and he's so good at driving forward. He's great with the ball at his feet. He's one of the most composed defenders I've seen at this level.
Yeah, as you say, when he does make those runs forward, he really does drive the team up. You can see the whole team as a shift in play. Like you say, effectively becomes an additional midfielder, and you sort of overload that middle, which then creates that creativity, gives us that edge going forward, and it makes it very difficult for teams to defend against. And I think we see him. He's got a good eye for a ball as well. You'll see him trying to make those passes through the middle, split defenders and stuff. Really promising player, and one that I personally really hope that we can sign on a permanent. I think his contract may be up at the end of the season. I think I may have read somewhere. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But if he's someone who becomes available on a permanent, I think we will be pushing all we can to get his signature.
It's funny how, like, you see, because I don't know how he really did. I think it was Crewe that he was at, but I don't really know how he did there on loan. Obviously, earlier in the season, but it doesn't seem like it went that well, considering he was recalled and then sent to us. So it's just weird how players kind of teams themselves, when they go from National League to League Two, don't seem like they struggle, because obviously, like, I don't think any have come straight down in like decades.
No, they haven't.
However, players, it feels like players for some reason do struggle to make that step. And I'm not saying he's not good enough to make League Two, because to be honest, maybe I'm biased, but I think he's pretty good enough for League One club if they properly gave him.
I do.
It just seems like even with Luke Hannon, who is a bit random, but it's kind of relevant. Like Luke Hannon, who played for Gateshead last season and Southend fans will know him for kind of him taking the piss out of Southend and whatnot. But he went to Oldham this season. Then I think he's been either loaned or sold back to Rochdale back in National League. So yeah, it's just weird to me how players kind of struggle to make that step to the next league.
Yeah,
bit of a random
I mean, I think
tangent, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he obviously had a bit of an injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
So whether that's played a part to him being recalled,
Yeah.
possibly. But also, I think there's an element of you get the best out of the players where they enjoy playing their football.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that he enjoys being at Southend. I mean, he even come when he was injured back in the last season. He was in with the fans at Sutton. So he's got a real affiliation to Southend, a love for them, and I think you can see that when players play. That's where you get the best out of them. Yeah. So long may it continue for us, and let's hope he doesn't get too noticed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like
fantastic.
Because you
very much so.
On a hill, kind of shouting to everybody in the National League. Do you not realise that he's basically the best defender this league has seen in a long time? But I also don't want them
to not shout too loud.
Yeah. I imagine most kind of National League fans, if they're making their best 11 of the National League, which maybe we could do at the end of the season. Maybe that's not. But yeah, I mean, if most National League fans, not Southend, were doing that, I mean, I don't think many of them would probably put Harry Taylor in, but I mean, every Southend would put him in.
It'd be the first name.
Watch him week in and week out, and you can see he's the best. But I don't want them to know that. No offense, Harry. But
I agree. But maybe there's other teams that will look at their squads. Maybe there's players that maybe we aren't too. Say we watch him week in, week out, and we see the real. Ability he has.
Not necessarily a bad thing for us if people don't understand how good James Golden is. Maybe not great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So obviously Rochdale then got one back in typical Southend style. We don't do things easily, and when we're pretty comfortable really and in control of the game, they break down the left-hand side, I think it was, with a cross-in, and defensively probably quite a weak goal that probably maybe could have done slightly better with. But nevertheless, Southend roll up their sleeves, and we've got that never die attitude. And minutes later, Mr. Tom Hopper is back on the score sheet with another goal. It's not one that's gonna probably be on the top of his show reel in terms of finesse and quality, but you'll take them however they come, and it's about just being in the right place at the right time, which at the moment he seems to be in.
Yep.
And again, it's a goal that comes, it gives us that 2-goal advantage again over them. And then the North Bank singing Hopper again, allay. Has the love changed for him, or had the love always been there for him, but now it's sort of getting more widely recognised?
Yeah, the thing is with Hopper, I think a lot of fans kind of think that because he's had a few games that it's impossible to criticise him. But the thing is, obviously, I'm not saying anybody should slate him. That is absolutely unacceptable. But I think he's had a lot of criticism this season. I think some of it's been probably fair. I think any striker that kind of goes on the run that he hadn't scoring, maybe does deserve a bit of criticism. But I do think that. I just think that he's a player that runs on confidence, and I think now that we've really seen that he actually still has it in him, and it's not really an ability issue. It seems to me now that he's shown it to me, and because to be honest, I've been critical at times. I think most of us probably have, but I think now that he's shown to me that he does have the ability. You've seen that he's got the ability. I mean, Forest Green, he's played a really good game, and I think he did against Rochdale too.
Yeah.
So. It just seems to me like it's not an ability issue, it's a confidence issue. So now, even if he is playing badly, I think it's important for fans to kind of get behind him and boost his morale, because we know when he is in that kind of good place, he actually can be a good player for us. And he brings a bit of experience. Obviously, he's played for the club before, so he knows what it means. And I mean, when he scores, you see how happy the players are around him. So it tells you insight onto what he's like behind the scenes. Because if he wasn't trying behind the scenes or didn't seem to care, I don't think the players would be that happy. I'm buzzing for him, to be honest. And he seems like he's just doing exactly what you'd want from him. I don't think any of us want him to be this kind of modern day advanced striker who's going to be skipping past players and scoring screamers. I don't think anybody wants that, but all you kind of want from him is to play nice little simple passes, link up play, hold up play, win some headers, and to get in the right place for a goal. And lately he has done that to a T. So complete respect to him. He's been a great player for us recently, and I think if he carries on like this, he could be a great player for us for the running in the last few games, because he keeps fit as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, he does. So, he's never
player for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we head in at half time at 3-1, feeling fairly confident. I didn't think Rochdale, other than their goal, didn't really pose a huge amount. I think we completely took control of that first half, and I think it's probably one of the best first halves that I've seen us play in quite some time. It was really, really good attacking football, quick movement, which I think we've just been crying out to see. And obviously we come out in the second half now. I was under no illusion the second half wasn't probably going to be... I don't think we was going to have as much control as we did in the first half. I think we was going to see a reaction from Rochdale. I think that was inevitable. And sure enough, we did. They got a goal, I think it was around the 60th minute mark. And then at that point, it really was squeaky bum time. Again, Southend, what we have shown is that sort of mental kind of resilience, I guess, when we are where we need to defend, we do it as a whole team. And I thought the way we managed that game was brilliant. I think we played it really, really well. It could have been really easy to just keep trying to get the ball forward and attack, but I think it's about choosing the right moments for that to not then leave us open for the counter-attack, because Rochdale, they had their tails up in that second half looking for that equaliser. You just felt if that equaliser comes, here we go, could the fourth go in? But it was backs to the wall stuff at times, but like I said, we managed it really, really well, and I thought it was a really, really good defensive display in the second half.
No, I completely agree. And to have it a 3-2, I know we were leading, but to hold off Rochdale and not let him get another goal for the rest of the half was really, really impressive. And I know they grew into the game, but we were having chances ourselves and kind of still attacking them. We weren't just kind of sitting with a ridiculously low block, maybe like we have seen earlier in the season, which has been so frustrating. We actually were giving it a real good go, and I mean, it's just one of the best results that best performances that I've seen in quite a while. I mean, it's probably the best performance I saw since the Forest Green game, but I mean, those best in a while, because it's just. And the thing that I love about this team is, even if we play badly, even if we kind of don't get the result we want, even if we lose, they always seem to be giving it their 100%, and that's all I've ever wanted from a team. And it feels like credit to Kevin and the staff as well, because he's clearly got them in a mindset that they always need to work hard, because it's not often I come away from a game thinking, they didn't even try today.
No.
It's not often you can kind of criticise the work rate of the team, and you saw that in the Rochdale game. To hold them off like that when they were really hunting for that goal, it was very impressive, because to be honest, I don't think overall in the game, I don't think Rochdale were necessarily bad. I don't think they were amazing, but I don't think they were necessarily bad. There's a few moments where they were kind of coming forward and you're thinking they are quite a quick side, they've got a bit of skill about them. I don't think they're amazing, but they were trying, and I think it was mainly just down to us being better on the day, to be honest, and giving it more, wanting it more, a bit more effort. It is a fantastic result.
Yeah, I mean, their opening goal was through, and I might get this name completely wrong, is it Diesavu, is it? Who he's been prolific this season. So he's a very, very capable striker, and to ensure that he only scored the one and restricted his opportunities and chances, I think is credit to us. And as you say, you touched on about the mental resilience and the work ethic, and I think that's something that's been instilled by Kev from the moment he come through the door. I think he wouldn't allow anything less than you work 100% to the end of the game. The game isn't 80 minutes. It's, right, first whistle to the end of the whistle. You give it your all. And as fans, that's sort of like you said, that's all you want to see. If you can see your teams going out there and they're trying their best, and ultimately if they get beaten by the better side, fair play, it happens. But you want to make sure your team are performing the best that they can. And I think maybe where we see that against Truro and Gateshead, that maybe wasn't always the case, and that's where the frustration comes maybe. But it shows that when we're on it, we can compete with these top sides. We've seen now that we're turning these results against the top six. Forest Green, Rochdale, even Carlisle. When we played them a couple of times this season, we've been unfortunate not to be on the winning side. We are capable when we get to it. It's just that consistency, I guess, which we kind of may be struggling with this season. And again, the congestion of fixtures, we know that March and April, there's a lot of games coming thick and fast. Does that have part to play? I don't know. But obviously that win with Rochdale, it then moved us back into the playoff positions, which again, I think just psychologically, on the table, you see us in the playoffs, it gives you that edge. It puts pressure on Halifax that are looking, even Hartlepool to an extent, who will still feel that they've got a slight chance of creeping in. So I think just being in those playoff positions is a big impact as well. But yeah, as you say, all in all, it was a fantastic result.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, before the Forest Green game, obviously we were talking about how we hadn't won a game against the Big Six, and it was kind of like a bit of a curse. It was a bit of a bit of an unfunny kind of running joke, to be honest, that we hadn't beaten any of the Big Six. But now, if you actually think about it, now that we've got those 2 wins, our record doesn't seem quite as bad against the Big Six, because if you think...
No.
Didn't beat us. Carlisle beat us earlier in the season, but then we got a good point in their place. Boreham Wood, I know we lost, and then we got a point. Scunthorpe beat us both times, so that's not great. But then Forest Green, was it a loss and a win? So to get 3 of them's good. Rochdale, a win against them and a loss. It's like, not actually... It doesn't sound quite as bad now that we've got those 2 wins, really.
And I suppose you could put a spin on it, can't you? Because you can say, well, those teams didn't beat us, The times that we drew with Carlisle, and beat, like you say, Rochdale have lost to us. Forest Green have now lost to us. So as much as maybe we haven't beaten them, well, they haven't beaten us. So
exactly.
It makes things very interesting. And you say it's a time of season where you want momentum on your side. Which kind of leads us on to Saturday. We head to Altrincham away, who at the time I think was sitting, was it 16th, I think, having a bit of a sort of mediocre season. I think they may have picked up form the last few games. How did you sort of envisage that game going?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't feeling too confident before the game. And that's not because the games before, because I know we had 2 fantastic games and we've been on a really quite a good run. I know we had 2 kind of poor results in that, poor performances, but they're still draws, and we hadn't lost in, was it 7 or something like that? So I was feeling positive because of that. But I mean, if you look at our record against Altrincham away, it's really
it's not
really,
good, is
really
it
bad.
at all?
I mean, we have lost the last 3. I'm trying to see, we lost all 4 times we played there. So
I think so.
All 5 times now. So it's really not a good run of form. But then it goes the other way, because when they come to our ground, they quite often struggle, and they hate going to ours. Because I know a few Altrincham fans are saying that they hate coming to our ground as much as we hate going to theirs. But I wasn't feeling very confident because of our form there, and it just felt like the kind of frustrating game that Southend were going to slip up on after a great run. It's a difficult result, really, but I do think that we shouldn't probably read into it too much. I think the real test, the real kind of thing to see if we're still at that standard that we were in the Forest Green and Rochdale games is how we do against Woking. I think that's the crucial thing for us, because if we go on to lose that or draw that, have a disappointing result, that will get rid of our kind of run and momentum. But if we win against Woking, a nice convincing win, be like, okay, the Altrincham game was just a slip up, just a little blip in the road, and get back on track. So it's not a good result, but I don't think we should read into it too much.
No, it's a typical don't get too high when, like the Rochdale, the Forest Green, don't get too high with it, because as we know, there's always a Truro Gateshead there that in this league anyone's capable of beating anybody. The teams at the bottom are fighting for survival, and it's like I say, it's important not to get too low with the result. I agree with you. I think it's important on how we're going to bounce back from this, same as it was with how we're going to bounce back from the Gateshead and the Truro games. And getting two really good performances against the top six sides there. All of a sudden, you forget kind of about those two poorer results, if you like. And actually, in March, we've had a decent run. Really, I think it's 5-6 games unbeaten up until Altrincham. So we was in a good vein of form there, really. And it's just a bit of a kick, I guess, because I suppose I was, unlike you, I probably was expecting to get grind out a decent result. I think that first goal is always quite crucial in those sort of games. I think it's about taking your chances. And I want to just talk about the squad rotation. Obviously, Gus Scott Morris was rested. He come off, I think, was it at Rochdale? Kev says slight hip problem that he's sort of been nursing over the season. So I wasn't too surprised because we know like Austin can fill in that gap and bring other players into the midfield there. So did you find that sort of had any effect on like the rhythm or the effectiveness of the team with Gus's
I do a bit, to be honest, particularly with the fact that obviously he'd been the captain as well. And I think it's a bit of a bold move, I guess, to the last two games, as I said, the last few games that we had looked quite obviously strong, but also we look quite put together and quite like playing like a team. So to then take your captain completely out of the squad, I know he's not always the captain, but the captain for those games completely out of the squad when you're trying to build a run of momentum was a bit of a strange one for me. I know Austin can play there, and to be honest, I'll be probably alone in this, but I do think that that's probably Austin's best position. Not necessarily because I think he's brilliant there, but I just think that that's where he probably offers us the kind of most, and he's probably quite a good backup for Gus. But yeah, I was quite surprised, to be honest, to see that he was dropped. Obviously for rotation, and it's been kind of the story all season, and it's a bit frustrating really because we've got a tiny squad, so we have to rotate constantly. And I just wonder why we have refused to kind of have the depth that other teams do. I know this is National League, so I'm never expecting us to have a full 11 backup and kind of, a 35, 40 player squad. I'm not expecting that, but it just feels a bit frustrating all season. We've been and we've been getting rid of players as well. Like, I mean, Crowther, I know Crowther maybe you could argue wasn't good enough, and players like Wind, I know he's kind of he's still with us. But, I mean, loaning him out constantly. It's just been kind of surprising things with our depth, I'd say. So and that was again an example of rotation.
Yeah, and I guess they'll, Kevin, the team will tell you that it's not about getting players in, it's about getting the right players that fit the system, fit the ethos of the club. And I completely get that, but like you, I think that we knew that we've got a really congested fixture coming up. We've got some key players out, sidelined already at the moment. We're still in a cup competition, the real prospect of getting to Wembley in that. Hopefully, we can consolidate these places in the playoffs, and we just need that kind of cover for any eventuality really. But obviously Gus was not included in the squad for the game, and I still think that we had a good enough team starting lineup to take on Altrincham. But obviously after the 15th minute, I think an early setback with I think it was Liam Humbles, I think it was, scoring from a corner that it was a bit of a messy corner really. It wasn't really cleared very well. He was sort of left as a free man there to fire home from, I think, about 6-7 yards out, I think it was. It's frustrating, and it's just not a great goal. And the thing is, when you concede that kind of goal that early, it's going to be very, very hard to turn that game around. Because you're away anyway, so you're kind of on the back foot, but to then be 1-0 down, it's just, at that point, they can kind of just control the game. Obviously, the fans are then against you immediately, even more, because they'll be happy about the lead. It's very difficult, to be honest. I don't know if you're going to talk, if you were, apologies, but about
because I don't think we've done a podcast since the signing of Alfie Massey. I don't know if we've...
No, so that was going to I was going to mention that in a bit. But we could bring it in. Yeah, bring it in now because yeah.
Well, I was just going to say about that because I guess kind of a question for you because I'm not sure how I feel about it. That's not because I don't think he's a good player. I've heard great things, so I'm very excited about that. But I just kind of wonder where that puts the new boy from Preston, Mwene, is it? Noah Mwene?
Yeah.
I don't really know where that puts him because it feels a little bit weird to me that the Preston player hasn't had basically any minutes yet. I think he came on for like 6 minutes or something in the game, if that, right at the end of one. But he's been here for quite a few games now, maybe like 5, and he's just had no minutes. And then we get another player in. I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think that kind of puts the Preston player? Do you think there's space for both?
we haven't really seen enough of them. I mean, we've only seen literally minutes of them from them both. Now, I didn't see much of the Altrincham game, to be honest, so I can't really comment too much about Macy, to be honest with you. Obviously, I've only sort of read what's online, and by all accounts, he's held in quite high regard within Millwall. You know, done quite well for Wealdstone, which his time there was cut short due to an injury. But yeah, I don't really know between the two of them if what their sort of out and out position is. I don't know if one's slightly more defensive than the other. I suppose what surprised me more is that we've recruited sort of the midfield, but not sort of defensively. I thought we maybe would have seen maybe another loan coming in defensively. Just as you say, we know that Gus has got that slight injury that he's nursing. Obviously, Ralph's out at the moment, hoping he's going to come back soon. Goodlift was out for a period of time, so I'm surprised that we maybe haven't looked to strengthen defensively as well. Obviously, I appreciate midfield again. We've got a couple of real crucial players out at the moment, but I always feel that we're quite heavy on the midfield, and there's players that can play in those positions to cover. But yeah, I mean, I can't say about either or really at the moment because I can't say I've seen too much to really notice their impact and where they'll fit in within the squad, to be honest with you.
I'm very happy we're dipping into the loan market because I think
you
can't rely on it. I think if we want to build a little bit of depth, it's probably the best way you can do it because rather than as you say, just bringing in any player who doesn't really fit the plans and stuff. If you bring in a loan player, at least you've got that kind of fallback of, okay, they're not permanent, and if they don't kind of work, then they can just go back to their other club.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm happy with dipping into the loan market, don't get it wrong, like 100%. And it does seem like both of them are really good players, but it feels weird to me that we've got two midfielders. And whilst I do think we need to improve our midfield, I definitely do think that, because I think there are elements of the midfield that I think are probably too weak, but it feels weird the fact that that's probably, even though it's one of our weaker positions, it's one of the ones where we got the most players in, and to get 2 midfielders in, and the Preston boy didn't even come on at all. He didn't play any minutes in that game, but then Massey did. I wonder if he's kind of looking at it, that Noah is kind of looking at it thinking, why have I been brought in? I guess I don't know.
I mean, I do wonder if Noah's maybe a bit more of a defensive player, and maybe that's why Alfie Massey came in against Altrincham. Obviously, we're a goal behind. We're looking to try and attack. And I think he's come out and he said, he looks for a pass and his assists, and if he can get a shot away, he will. So maybe he's a more attacking threat over Noah. I don't know. So that'll be something certainly interesting to see as it progresses throughout the remainder of the season, to see how much game time they do get, if it is just a bit of an impact sub, a bit of a part-time player, or if there is something that Kevin and the team actually look at and go, no, this is someone that we do want to try and get into the team and get good minutes into, and that who can make an impact on the game.
I guess about the loan market, that obviously I'm very happy with those two, and I think that they are good additions from what I've heard. But I don't see why we're because I saw the other day that Braintree loaned in a player called Ryan Battram from West Ham, and I mean, I know quite a fair bit about kind of academy football and stuff, and he's a quality player. And I just wonder why, I don't know, like, we're not looking at players at a Premier League kind of level. And I'm not, this is nothing to do with them, but like, I don't know, there's quite a few players that I can think of that would be ideal for us. And I do hope that I hope that going forward we do plan to dip into the loan market a bit more. I know it's a bit unpopular with fans sometimes, but fans often say about how we don't have a budget and this and that. Well, if we don't have the budget, I think the best thing you can do is dip into the loan market and just accept that at this level it's something you've got to do. So I cross we see some kind of see some more loans because I think it's a good move.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting you say, because you look at some of the sort of Premier League academies, under-21 setup, especially like locally, where you look at the likes of West Ham, who are just down the road, they're not too far away. Yeah. They've done very well in the is it the National League Cup competition, whatever it's called, reaching the final there. So, and we know that what West Ham sort of academy setup is like. They produce some, phenomenal players that have gone on to play at the highest level. And I do still wonder that here's a question for you. Do you think there's still a bit of a hangover from sort of the Ron Martin era, where in terms of there were so many bridges that were burnt with the way that we managed players, managed clubs, agents, things like that, that there's still that little bit of a hangover in terms of, well, actually, if there's other clubs that are coming in that are more sustainable, that have got a better reputation, let's say, they're more likely to go there. Do you think we're still trying to build that reputation back up?
That's a good point. Yeah, I think so. And I think potentially maybe clubs like Braintree, who are also local, pretty local to West Ham, I think maybe they've just built up a better relationship over the years. I mean, I know Braintree have also loaned in Mason Terry, who's been a fantastic goalkeeper this season. It maybe is because of that, but I just wonder why we don't kind of look at, because we've got nearby clubs like West Ham, for example, that we could loan players off, and they've got a very big academy full of lots of players that could play happily at this level. Like Batcham, I mean, Mason Terry would have been a fantastic pickup for us in goal. I know we've spoken about our kind of issues with goalkeepers and stuff this season. I mean, Mason Terry's gone to Braintree, and I know it's kind of not on our level, but it's still the same league, and he's playing with a much weaker defence, but putting in fantastic numbers each week. So I just wonder why we don't kind of look at local clubs like West Ham, for example, and we're loaning players. I know Millwall, but kind of loaning players from Preston and stuff. It's just, I wonder if that may be it, that we've maybe not got the best reputation. So maybe it just might take a few years to build back up.
It'll be interesting to see one, especially like next year as well, where I think we'll see a lot of changes. And I think now people will hopefully, there's a lot more positivity coming out of the club now. We've got new training facility, there's new ground, on the horizon.
And that will attract players in.
Better investment. And of course it will. Obviously these things take time, and it's very, it takes time to rebuild, especially the sort of the torrid time that we've been through. So anyone out there listening, because I'm sure there's abundance of you all listening at under 23s, under 21 levels, come to Southend. But just sort of touching back on the Altrincham game, I don't want to dwell on it too much. But it appeared, I wasn't able to watch much of the game. I was sort of watching bits and pieces of it and trying to pay attention online. But it seemed that a lot of it was a lot of missed opportunities that was costing us, particularly in the final third. Now, we talk about being clinical. Rochdale proved that we took I think it might have been our first 3 shots that we actually scored from. We were very, very clinical that day. And I just wonder what was different going into Altrincham. Like, was it just too many games in too quick, space of time, or what was it? Was it just too many people had an off day?
I don't know, and it's difficult because it just feels like we're a little bit inconsistent, and it's been costing us all season. Because if we had that streak of consistency, I genuinely think if we had a bit more consistency and a bit more depth, we would be kind of a top 4 team, and that's not being kind of delusional or something, but I just think that we've got the ability there. I think coaching staff wise, people will have their opinions on Mayor and stuff, but I think overall we've got a kind of solid base there. We've got stability off the pitch. We've got the players. I don't think there's a reason why we shouldn't be up at that level. It's just we can't find the consistency, and it's so frustrating because I know there'll be a lot of clubs that feel the same way, but about Southend, it's just we struggle to find that consistency of being clinical and putting away our chances.
Yeah.
Some weeks it feels like, we're not taking any chances. Then it feels like we're taking all our chances. It's very weird. I don't know if it's a difference of playing at Roots Hall on a Tuesday night or under a good atmosphere. I don't know, but it's difficult. I've just seen that Boreham Wood have scored against Aldershot, so that's not great. But
oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to touch on as well. There was a penalty shout right at the death of the game. Jack Bridge went down claiming for a penalty. It was waved away, and he was subsequently booked for simulation. Now I think they've actually come out and said actually we got that one wrong, and it should have been a penalty, which is too little, too late. And I think it's not for the first time this season's happened to us, but. Take that away. We shouldn't be relying on a last-minute penalty shout to be trying to get results, should we?
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a Stonewall penalty, and the audacity of the referee to book Jack Bridge for diving is staggering. But I guess at least they kind of came out and did say that they got that one wrong. It's kind of a rare bit of accountability.
But it's.
But yeah.
Yeah,
as you say,
it's too little, too late, isn't it? Really,
I mean, taking back a yellow card that shouldn't have been a yellow card doesn't really help us in the season.
No.
That penalty, 1 point at the end of the season could be the difference between finishing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's right.
Or not. I mean, it's so close with Halifax.
Yeah. Even that goal, that single goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, could go down to goal.
I mean, we're fortunate that our goal difference is quite strong, but it's fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's just frustrating that they get it so wrong consistently. I mean, I didn't see much of the Altrincham game either, which is probably quite a good thing, to be honest. But I didn't see too much of the game, but just from previous in the season, I mean, the standard of officiating at this level is so poor, and I get it's a really tough job, and to be honest, I'm quite lenient on refs in that sense, because I get that it must be so hard to see some of this stuff, but some of them you just look at and think, I don't know how you've got these wrong. I mean, there's the standard of officiating in the whole country from Premier League all the way down is terrible, but particularly in the National League, I've not really seen anything like it.
No. I mean, ultimately, I think we could put it down to. I think it's just a case of not taking our opportunities. I think the opportunities were there. I think we were still creating chances, but we just wasn't clinical enough. I mean, I think a couple of the balls landed in my garden. They were that wild, and I think they were just snatch. I think Koga said about they were snatching at shots, and even the shots that they did get on target, there was no real sort of pace behind it. It was straight down the keeper's arms. It was all too easy for the goalkeeper, really. And I think it's just one of those games where. That we put that behind us. We know that we need to do better, and we go on. Like you say, we can't get too down on it. There is just a couple of points I want to make out from this, because Phil, as I say, he's not with us today, but there's a couple of points he has noted, and it did surprise me, to be honest. The first is that that we've not won a league game where we've conceded the first goal all season. And in a 90th minute game, we have not come from behind to beat anyone since Chesterfield in November 2023.
Wow.
Now, I mean, there's some stats. Now, if they're wrong, go at Phil, because I say these are coming from Phil, but I've got no reason to think otherwise. And if that's the case, that's a concern, isn't it? That we struggle to turn results around. Particularly get into a winning position where we have conceded first.
Yeah, that is weird, and I guess we were talking about how good our mentality is earlier in the podcast, but I guess that kind of goes against it a little bit. I don't know. That is really weird. I've honestly never heard that before. But
it really surprised me, to be honest.
We have, to be honest, but that is seriously poor, to be honest.
It is, but it's something like you say. Those points. I mean, even at half those games, you get a point out of those, or if it's making it from a draw to a win, that's a huge amount of points there that you've sort of given up. And like we said earlier, it's all about fine margins, isn't it? It's just it could only be like one goal in it. Could be all it needs. But let's put that put that to bed now, because I think we've gone over that far too much now, and let's look on to positive things. So in the second half, we are going to come back with results from the ladies team against #United. We'll look ahead to Woking and FA Trophy semi-final against Southport away, and we also have Finn's Woking trivia quiz. Is it?
Yeah,
would you call it?
Quiz. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, we'll look forward to that.
Stay right with us. Right, so as I say, we'll come back to catching up with the Woking game tomorrow, isn't it now?
Yeah.
So if you're listening, we're recording on Tuesday, so depending on when you're listening to, the game's either happened already or you're about to go and see it. So we'll have all the reaction and assessment coming up with that. But first, we'll just touch up with the ladies' result. We haven't got any of the girls that are unavailable this evening. But they played on Sunday. They had an away game to #United, who I believe are sitting top of the league. I think they may have already won the league. I think they're going really strong. So Southend lost 6-3 to #, which by all accounts isn't actually too bad a result. I think in earlier on the season, I think the result wasn't as, I think # run away with that game by all accounts. But what that does mean, I think, is that Southend's survival is all but confirmed, all by goal difference. So I think they've only got one more game, but I think mathematically they are safe. Goals from Lily Ungia. Apologies if I've completely ruined that. Morgan Fletcher, and another goal from Sophie Stacks. There's some real positives still to come out from the game. 3 goal scorers. And as Katie said, I think there's going to be a bit of change and movement for the girls team next season. Yep. They've got that game in May against Colchester to showcase what they're really capable of. I think it's very much still a building stage. There's been a lot of change with the ladies teams. So I think this is a season maybe just to write off and look at it as a building block ahead of next season, where new changes will come in. And their last game is actually on the 12th of April, and that is against Toby Ladies. That's their final game of the season, as I say, just before they play Colchester in a kind of exhibition match, would you call it? I don't know. Sort of showcasing what the women's team is all about, really. That'd be really interesting to get to. So, next up, as I say, we've got Woking tomorrow evening. So we've got a Wednesday game this week. So as we head into this, Halifax are sitting above us following our loss against Altrincham, and I think they won. So they sort of leapfrogged us. However, we've still got a couple of games in hand. And Halifax actually got a really tricky game this evening. I think they're away to Carlisle, aren't they? So we're hoping Carlisle can do us a favour tonight as we then can look at getting back into that playoff spot tomorrow night. So Woking, they currently sit 10th. They're on 52 points. They've recently had a managerial change not too long ago, with someone coming in as part of that managerial team, someone who we're quite familiar with, Jake Hyde, from his time at Southend. They've got 56 goals scored, 46 against, and they're unbeaten in the last 6, winning their last 3 games. In amongst those 6, there was a draw as well to Boreham Wood. So some good results. How do you see that game coming?
Yeah, I do feel positive actually, because I think we've got 3 league games in a row now. I mean, obviously we've got the cup game as well, but league game wise, we've got 3 home games in a row. So I think this is a good chance to get a good run going. We've done really well at home recently, obviously with the 2 wins against Forest Green and Rochdale. We knew they'd stack up, but I think when you're at home, it gives you that level of consistency, stability. You're not kind of all over the place, getting tired, going to different places, new experiences. So I think I'm feeling positive, to be honest. I think it's a good chance for us to get our run back. I think it's a good chance. I know that they had a good result recently against Aldershot, I believe, so that's a good derby win for them.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, very good.
yeah, I feel positive. I think if we play like we did against Rochdale and Forest Green, I mean, this could be a brilliant game for us. So yeah, I'm feeling positive.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, I don't know if you went to the away fixture earlier on in the season where Jack Bridge last minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went and it was a Jack Bridge last minute sort of equaliser, and Woking actually went 1-0 up, and they were quite unlucky not to sort of score right at the death. It was a really good free kick, I think, by Jake Foster Casey, I think it was, right at the death, which sort of just went over the bar. But I thought they looked a really good team, to be honest. They're quite a physical team from what I can remember. So I think we're going to have to match up with that. But yeah, I think at the time, I think we probably expected to beat Woking at their place as well. But they sort of took us by surprise, and we struggled to break them down. We had to just keep chipping away, and eventually we got our rewards right at the death. As you say, coming in at Southend at home, our record's been fairly decent, especially through March. So we've had a couple of wins, couple of draws. So being back under the lights tomorrow night, I think will really spur us on. And I think the team will want to put to bed Saturday's game. They'll want a response from that. And I think this is where the games coming in quick succession may benefit us, because it gives you that opportunity to put that one to bed. Right, next game, let's move on. Yeah. We haven't got time to dwell about it and lick our wounds. We've got to brush ourselves off and get back at it. And a win on tomorrow night then will lead us on to Saturday, which is again it's a big game. It's an opportunity to get back to Wembley again. So yeah, like you, I think that I can see us getting a result against Woking, despite they've gone on quite a decent run themselves. But I think we'll just have a little bit too much at home for them.
I think so.
So obviously then after that, we then have Southport away, which... Are you going to that? I know you mentioned that you was umming and ahhing about it. Are you going?
I was thinking about it. I think, to be honest, I don't think my dad's too keen on it. Bit of a
it's a bit of a drive in it. Yeah,
I'm not sure he's too keen on it, so I might just watch it at home with him. We'll probably do a little mini party or something. I'll probably have a little watch party at my dad's house.
Yeah, because I noticed that they're actually... You can buy a pass, can't you, for the game? They're streaming it live, aren't they? And I think they've got like 500 fans at Roots Hall, actually, in attendance for their Roots Hall Live, which I went to in the playoff run last year. I wasn't able to get to the game, so I went to Roots Hall, and it was a really good atmosphere, actually.
It was brilliant,
it was really well done. It really was.
I went to the Rochdale game, but the Forest Green one, I had an exam... because it was my GCSE, no, not my GCSE, my A-level season. I'm not that young. That was my A-level season, so I had my exams and everything, so I couldn't get to the Forest Green game. I managed to get to the Rochdale game by kind of doing a bit of moving around, but the Forest Green game I couldn't quite get to. So yeah, went to Roots Hall Live. Still a little bit of a drive for me, but not quite as far as Forest Green.
Yeah, not as far.
It's really good. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if anybody can get to Roots Hall Live, I'm not sure if I will. I'll try my best to, but it's a great atmosphere, and I know last time in the playoffs they had kind of like, I think they had some like ex-players like do a Q&A or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think they've got someone. I can't remember who. Yeah, I think they have got someone there this weekend. I can't actually remember who it was they've got down, but I know they've got someone coming down. So
I can't remember who they had last time for the Forest Green game.
No. Yeah.
Oh god, someone will have to remind me of that in the comments. But
that's what I'm sure. Someone will let us know.
I can't remember who it was though.
Seems such a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Oh, it might have been. It was someone one of the Barnet boys. It was Ben Coker. I think he came. Did a little Q&A or something. I think he did, yeah. I think he was at Ebbsfleet at the time. No, Barnet, something like that. But yeah, I think he...
Well, if he was there, let us know in the comments somewhere. And
exactly.
Just say,
it's really good.
You got it completely wrong. But definitely get down there. As I say, I think the bar will be open, and Yeah, it'd be good. Unfortunately, I'm working, so again, like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to attend, but I'll be listening and trying to follow it online. But again, it's a real opportunity, isn't it, to get to Wembley. The players will tell you they're taking each game at a time, but there's got to be a bit of an eye on that fixture Saturday as well. And by all means, it's not going to. I still don't think it's going to be a comfortable result. Southport, where they are, because they've beaten some very good teams. I think they've beaten Scunthorpe, who we know have done really, really well this season, sitting in that playoff position. And I think they're in their league position. I think they're doing really, really well as well. So they're going to be some difficult opposition. Obviously, we'll travel with a good crowd, as I'm sure, to try and drive that win home. But you should see it as a Southend win. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's they might be a little bit tough because they're going to be right up for it. I mean, it's a huge game for us, but it's a huge game for them as well. Yeah, I don't think. I just really hope our players don't underestimate how big of a game this is for us, because it's a huge game, and it just. I just hope they take it seriously enough and not think. Because I feel like against Gateshead and Truro, I still think that they kind of just thought it was almost
going to be
and I really hope they don't think that, because we could fall into a banana skin if we turn up thinking that. We've got to go there and expect a really tough game against a tough side. Yeah. I know they don't do that well in the league, Southport, but I mean, there's a reason they've got to this stage of the competition, and there's a reason why they're having a cup run. And to win this game would take us to Wembley and guarantee us at least one visit to Wembley. I mean, I know we'd love to get promoted and everything, but really as fans, you kind of do it for the moments and the memories and stuff. To get to Wembley again in any form would be fantastic. So I don't know how they do with the kind of attendances and stuff. I guess we'd have a quarter of the stadium, which is a bit... But I guess
I mean, I don't know how many tickets. I mean, that's thinking ahead. Yeah, we're thinking ahead of ourselves. But like you, I think a lot of those players are there from last season. They've already experienced Wembley. And they'll be itching to want to play there again. In a player's career, to get that opportunity to play at Wembley once, in your playing career is something else. To have that potential to play there again following season, that should be a motivator in itself. And also, I think, as I say, we're taking it game by game, and I think, especially coming into this playoff run now, the final sort of month really, as we're heading into, I think it's all about building that momentum, getting into those playoffs, building the momentum, getting those wins under your belt. I think that is massive. I think regardless of if it was a semi-final or what sort of competition it was, I think it's all about just building on that momentum to see us into those playoffs in the closing stages. So, we'll have full reaction from that next week. So what we'll do is we will go into Finn. I'll let you take over this bit, mate. This is your little moment, your Woking trivia.
Absolutely. So I mean, me and Phil kind of spoken about doing this before. I will be honest, this isn't quite as planned as it would normally be on a normal podcast. I mean, I think I did it in about 3 minutes before this podcast.
It was kind of thrown in, wasn't it? But it's something a little bit, so and those at home can get involved with.
Yeah, but it's just a bit of kind of bite-sized trivia. I mean, I'm a massive quiz head. I go to about 2 quizzes a week, so
excellent. I go to none, so I am not a trivia. So I can really show myself up here. So let's have a look and see.
Kick off with some kind of basic questions. Then I got some more kind of.
Oh gosh, no pressure.
Some of them you've actually, I think, answered already. So some of them you will get. Hopefully.
Right. Okay.
Because I think when you're talking about the Woking game and stuff, I think you answered some of them before. However, we'll start off. What is Woking's nickname?
Okay, that's the Cards.
The Cards, yep, there you go. Nice.
I said that so confidently, and then I was sort of second guessing myself. Like, oh no, I've got it wrong.
Yeah,
that's Cards. Okay. Good. That's the first one away. Yep, good.
I did have a clue for that. My clue was going to be it has the same name as the nickname of one of our players. There you go. Didn't need it. Nice. This is a tough one. If you get this, well, actually, you might. Have you been to Woking before? You've been to?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. What is the stadium of Woking called? I know it's going to be played at Roots Hall, but Woking Stadium.
So
what is Southend Stadium would have been a bit easy, I think.
So Wokin's Stadium, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it now? I might. There's a
Cool.
name that sticks out. Now this
Yeah.
might be an old name, or I might be completely wrong. But is it the Laithwaite's Stadium? Is it
I think
Laithwaite's?
that's another team.
If I got that completely wrong, is
Is
it?
like the Laithwaite Community Stadium? Hang on, I think that is another team. Hang on,
Is that something completely different? I'm thinking of.
is it like Morecambe or something? Oh no, it actually. But there you go. It
Am I
actually.
right? Is it? Yeah, it used to be, didn't it? Have they changed it?
Yeah, so I think where I've got because when you said that, I was like, that does definitely ring a bell. It's definitely
Yeah.
stadium in the league. I think I've gone with a different name because when you search up
Go
what is
on.
Woking Stadium called, it comes
Yeah.
up with Kingfield. But I'll give you that. That is
Okay.
no problem.
Okay.
Don't ever mind a query.
Yeah, there we go. I'm glad I'm not completely wrong.
So far, so good, and this one should
Yeah.
also be good. It's I thought I'd start off nice and easy, and later on,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
harder, but we'll see. I don't
let's
think
see.
this will be too
Let's
hard.
see.
To be honest, it's not quite like the one I did a few weeks back or months ago where it was a bit hard.
yeah. At least I had some help with that.
But that's what I thought. Because you're on your own, I'll be a bit nicer.
Yeah, go easy. Too
What was
kind.
the result last time we played Woking, and who scored?
That'll be a 1-1 with Harry with Jack Bridge.
I actually thought
Nearly.
No,
Yeah,
nice.
Jack Bridge, right, I did
There
that.
you
Yeah.
3
yeah.
for 3. This one, I think, again, probably not too bad. Where are Woking in the league? What position? Oh,
Oh, I think I touched on this earlier, didn't I?
I think you might.
Oh no, were they 10th? Were they as high
They
as
were
that?
10th.
I want to say 10th.
Yeah, great.
Is it
answer.
10th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10th. Yeah.
Oh, thank- there we
To
go.
be honest,
At the time of recording, anyway.
yeah, the time of recording. But that surprised
Yeah.
me because honestly, I
Yeah,
thought
me too. To be
quite a
fair.
lot. I thought they would have been like 15th,
Yeah.
maybe or something like that. I honestly did not know.
Yeah,
they were that
yeah.
close.
So,
I mean, yeah, they're only 2 places behind us, I think. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
between us and them is just Hartlepool, I think. So yeah, not bad at
Yeah.
all. So now this one's interesting. So I have a list. A new series I've started doing with Blues News recently is played for both series. So I've got a list
oh,
of every player. I believe this is
Christ.
ever.
Every player.
And now
Oh my
this is
God.
going to shock you. So for kind of context, I did Gateshead. I think there was only about 3 or 4 players that have played for both. I think Rochdale, there was quite a few, but it was probably about 5. For Woking and Southend, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
What?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18 players who have played for both.
Are you
Which
joking?
Sounds ridiculous. That I won't ask for all 18. But
How far back are we talking?
this the furthest any player goes back is 2006.
19.
But most of them are quite recent.
Wow.
And
So
there
like a
are some
20-year
big names
period.
there. But I'll give you for the point. What I want from you is the players that are in today's Southend squad. There are 1, 2, 3. There's 4. There's 4 Southend players today who have played for Woking
Yeah.
as well. So I want you to try
Wow,
your best
okay.
to name those 4.
So there's
I'll
one.
make it a bit hard, so you've got to get the 4 for the point.
Yeah, this is You've. I'm going to struggle on this. I'll be
I'll
honest.
give the full list after this.
Right, so I've got obviously Charlie Kendall
Nice, yep, that's
is
one.
the first one that will come straight to mind. Oh my God! And there's 3 others that currently play
There's
for
3
us.
others,
that are
yeah.
in our squad.
I can to help you out a little bit. There's 2 defenders and an attacker.
And an
Help out a
attacker
bit
as
because
well.
it's a little bit tricky.
So is Josh Walker? Was he at Woking?
He's not on my list, but I can
No,
check it.
okay.
You never know. with
No.
this.
I trust your judgment.
He was not.
Oh,
no,
was-
Dagenham.
okay.
Burton.
Only because Slav's not a million. Was Slavy? Was he ever at Woking?
Not on my list. No, to be honest, the other 2,
Okay.
the other 3. To be honest, they're all quite surprising. I think one of them I might have heard of, but they're all quite surprising. To be honest, I would not have thought they played for Woking, which is why it's. I can't believe how
I'm
many
trying to
players
think
play for both. Because whenever I do this series, I mean, with Forest Green, for example, there was
Yeah,
it was literally just 5.
like a handful. Yeah.
And to be honest, 5 felt like quite a lot to play for both. But this many, I mean, I've got my work cut out for me this week.
So,
Because
yeah.
I always like to do this post of who play for both. I've got like,
Yeah.
how many was it, 18 or something that I named? So
Yeah.
I've got my work cut out.
So,
I get working on it.
defensive, it was Nathan Ralph. Was he at
Yes,
Woking?
that's 2.
Yeah? Good,
yeah.
right, okay.
Nice.
And he says a striker who I'm trying to think who's sort of been localish that may have. Tom Hopper, was he at Woking?
No, not Tom Hopper.
No.
So you've got 1 defender and 1 attacker left.
One attacker and 1 defender left. So
Yeah. One of both.
So
yeah.
what other defenders?
You've got Ralph and you've got Kendall.
Was Harry Taylor?
Yes, that's another one.
Yeah,
Harry
I'm trying to think he was a local.
I never knew he
Harry
played for
Taylor.
Woking, but apparently, according to...
No. I mean, I know we got him from Barnet, and obviously Woking's around this neck. It's not a million miles away, is it? So I'm trying to. That's where I'm sort of going. I'm trying to think. Striker wise, who've I missed out? I can't imagine Dallas has played for Woking. A lot of his time was sort of up north. You said Nanislavi, Kendall. I said.
Oh yes, there's just 1 attacker left.
Walker, you said no. Who the hell am I missing?
There might only be one left. Could be wrong.
Who am I?
It's a bit of a trick because he won't be actually in the squad, if that helps you a little bit.
What? Who?
And he's
Not Harry Cardwell.
Yes. Harry
Was he
Cardwell.
really?
Yes. So Harry Cardwell played for them in 2015, which you never knew.
Did he? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Harry Taylor
That
played
surprised me.
in 2018. Nathan Ralph played 2016 to 2017. I think I knew Ralph, and obviously Kendall 23, 24.
Kendall,
But,
yeah. I did
just-
not know.
Yeah, I know.
Cardwell, yeah.
It's crazy. That's why I like doing this sort of thing because I would never have known these players play for. Woking.
Obviously, the only other one is Jake Hyde. Is the other one?
Yeah, of course. Do you know any
other
others?
than that, I think.
Top of your head?
No, I'm trying to sit there and try and rattle my brow. I don't think I can think of any more.
Well, this is the full list. So we've got Kevin Betsy, Macaulay Bonn, Marcus Dackers,
Oh, was it?
Sam Dalby, Kane Ferdinand, Freddie Ladapo, Jamar Loza, is it? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Dean Morgan, Glenn Rea, Lee Sawyer, Charlie Sayers,
Oh, Lee
Ian
Sawyer, of
Stelly,
course. Yeah.
and Casper Lapata. So yeah, that is the list.
Oh wow.
I
Yeah,
can't believe it's that
some
many players, which is pretty
surprising names there. That that's mad.
I know,
That's good. Really good question, actually. That's
Let's see if
good one.
I've just got 2 more.
Go on.
Probably quick ones, but this one's quite an interesting one. It's to do with an actual Woking player, just to test your kind of wider football knowledge, not just Woking. But so Woking's goalkeeper William, I won't give you his last name because it might give it away a little bit. But he has a famous dad who also played football. I mean, I say famous in kind of a EFL football term. I will give you a clue. So his dad played for Finland. He was Finnish. He played for West Ham, Bolton, and Wigan in goal.
I know this. I know this.
If you struggle, I can.
He's a goalkeeper, wasn't he? No, he's a goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, goalkeeper.
I think I know this.
Yep.
Is it Jaskalainen?
Yes, UC Askelainen.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did know this.
Obviously taking the goalkeeper gene. We'll have to see if he's any.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he's as
Any
good
good.
as he back in the day, but we'll see.
Yeah, some gloves to fill, isn't it? Yeah.
The last question. Now this is an interesting one. Maybe a bit of a shot in the dark. You might know it, you may not. So out of the 10 games we have had against Woking, how many have Southend United won?
Out of the 10 games.
Out of the 10 games, yeah. I think we've played them 10 times. So
Oh.
yeah, how many times have we beaten them?
I'm gonna go down the middle, 5.
Well, sadly, it's a lot lower than that. We've only beaten them twice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, so we've
gosh,
beaten them twice. However, the good thing is it doesn't mean that we've been battered because we've drawn 6 times and they've won twice. So it's kind of a bit of a we've won 2, they've won 2, and we've drawn 6. So The smart
Excellent.
prediction would be a draw, considering that's been the result
Yeah.
the last 4 times we played them.
Has it? Is that what it's been?
So, but yeah, so there
That's
you go.
your safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here you go. I've got a little question for you. It might be something that you've got in a sort of an extended version of your trivia. But can you name a famous? I think he was assistant manager. He may have even been manager at some point. And I'm not even sure if he was part of the board at any point. But he's also a famous pundit as well. He may have retired now, actually. That was involved at Woking. And he's actually been at Southend a couple of times with Woking.
Wow, you've stumped me.
I don't know if he's assistant manager or manager. I can't remember.
Honestly, I am completely stumped. I don't know. Maybe when you say it, it'll come to me. But I'm gonna have to pass on that. I have.
So he was famous for saying, "And it's live."
I can't think. My mind has gone completely blank.
It's gone.
Edit this out, Phil.
Yeah, no, keep it in. I've got him stumped, Mister two days a week quiz man.
Well, we don't often.
The answer is
trivia, to be honest, at my quizzes.
Yeah, no, that is true. The answer is, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, Martin Tyler.
Martin Tyler, really? Oh, of course.
Yes.
I saw that when you said that it's live. Of course, that's mad. But
yeah.
Wow.
I think he's all retired now anyway. But yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he was on the board at some point. I might have got that bit wrong, but he was certainly in the dugout.
There you go. A little extension
on a couple of occasions. So yeah. So there you go. And on that bombshell, yeah, fantastic. But yeah, let us know in the comments if you joined in along on this. Let us know. Don't listen to this and then go back and answer them. That's just cheating. So let us know genuinely how you got on. And if there's any other questions that you've got, put them on, and we'll look at answering them. See how many we get right. But yeah, that brings this show to an end. As I say, we're going to be back live next Monday. All going well, we'll have reaction from Woking and Southport. We'll also be looking ahead to the fixtures. And lastly, I just want to say thanks to our sponsor, Surgical Holdings. Thank you to Finn as well for joining us this evening. Thank you to you all listening and watching. And please do like, comment and subscribe. It's going to be a bit of a shameless plug, but if we can get as many likes and retweets and comments, it really does help build the page and get our name out there and keep these going. So thank you all for your support, and we will see you next week. Thank you, everyone.